Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 19 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And we have launched all of our tanks that we intended to the refueling station, so I'm sorry for just accelerating this a little bit in terms of creation, curb and construction time, because as I said in the previous episode, I was sending them asymmetrically, basically burns, correction, but the main point is that the next thing to happen is the carborundum tanker, and that is our carborundum tanker that we had been running in the low solar orbit. So the main point of that one is to actually eject it on its way to Kerbal. Okay, there is our craft already aligning to the maneuver prograde. And as you can see, it has a total of 162 delta V, which is amazing. And the reason why we are actually using the carborundum fuel per se. That being said, I might need to devise a bigger carborundum refueler, because sending him back and forth is a little bit of a tedious task. And if I send the tanker over there, I would like it to be huge and bring like millions of delta V in terms of carborundum. So yeah. Okay. Just testing the burn to see how much time it will take us. Roughly 4 minutes, so it's fortunate for you that I'm running this also in a bit of time acceleration manner. Not that much, but still some. And the maneuver node is to happen in roughly 3 minutes, according to our Kerbal alarm clock. And as you can see, this carborundum tanker is actually quite a good concept, because carborundum is very hard fuel to get. You either can harvest it around sun, or you need to go to Eeloo. However, Eeloo in my current save is not the last planet in the system, in the Kerbal system, but it's a moon of Sarnus. So yeah, it's kind of hard to actually get there in some reasonable amount of time. So that's why I decided to use, solar collectors to collect carborundum around the sun. And I am running that at a little bit of physics acceleration, because, what can you do? It is a little bit of a longer burn, but guys, I promised you less longer burns, but then again, this fuel tank is very much big, and it has pretty big OP, so I am running it semi-accelerated. Otherwise it would take much more even. Okay, so enjoy the view while it burns with full thrust to actually eject us on our way to Kerbal. I think I'm running this at roughly 2.5, 3 times acceleration, because yeah. You can just enjoy the view a little bit. And I want it really to change, Okay, yeah, actually I'm running it at 150% time acceleration, so just 1.5 times. Okay, but still it's good enough. We are burning and we will be ejecting out of the solar soon, and basically remaining should be roughly 1 more minute and maybe a half. I really like the carborundum because it has high thrust and high delta V. So it has really, the only basically problem with it is obtaining it. But once you obtain it, then you should be golden. Which is one more reason for me to consider a hefty tanker to be actually launched in sometime in the future. Okay, let's see. How does our burn go? Okay, it's still expanding. We still have to get into the Kerbal sphere of influence, 400 meters per second to burn. Not a whole lot, but still important enough. And I really don't like this wobble, and I think it's because it has high, thrust vectoring, so yeah, it's giving SAS all kind of funny stuff. But okay, 100 meters per second to burn. Okay, and easing down, and oops. Okay, went a little bit further overboard than we would like it to be, but then again, no matter, we will just, make a tiny correction when we come closer to Kerbal. But I think our prairie axis is actually just right. Ooh, looks beautiful. Maybe I won't be correcting it that much. Oh, okay, yeah, I will need to correct it because it's on the wrong side of Kerbal, clearly, which is something that I didn't see. Sorry, let me just move my mic a little bit. Okay, so let's just do a tiny correction burn just to make sure to get the encounter on the correct side. Hold the maneuver prograde and activate the signal delay. I mean, the signal delay is significant, but not that significant here. Roughly 40-ish seconds, which when you press the time acceleration, time flies like there's no mañana. Okay. Let's just see that it executes the burn. Wow, the beautiful dance of my satellites and stations. You really got to enjoy and appreciate that. Okay, come on. And 2, 1, and burn. Whoopsie! Other side. Perfect. Okay, that basically means that you, sir, are more or less done. I'm happy with you, and I'm gonna leave you be. Okay. I'm just checking where's my communitron, and... Okay, focus to Kerbal, and that will be happening in some time to come. Okay. The next thing to happen is the Duna tanker lander, so let's take care of that one. And this is the one that is being piloted by our engineer, Wilhuff-Tarkin Kerman. And I believe we have Chuck Kerman and Ikrit Kerman, who are frozen in the deep freeze tanks, so we will need to actually defrost them. And because we will be changing sphere of influence soon, and we really need to get cracking, Very important to get there properly, and let's change the sphere of influence. Great. Now we're in the sphere of influence around Duna, and we have to set up. We only have, guys, 400 and something meters per second of delta V, because the other one I have planned was to actually return, and I realized that's not enough. So we will need to do some drastic measures, and by drastic measures I mean aerobrake, because if you try to just, burn, then you realize I need 700 or 800 meters per second just to get into the elliptical orbit, and well, that's not nearly enough. So I would need to use the lander and just forget about the rover, which is something that I'm definitely not gonna do. So yeah. But this craft is well engineered. We have definitely a large shield, so I will want to use that one. And I'm thinking that I will be doing that one pretty much, well, oops. Yeah, some technical glitching, well, Kraken's Bane, can you do with it? But anyway, I'm just trying to see what happens if I decelerate a little bit earlier. Maybe should I have an opportunity to get stuck into the orbit around Duna? No. Here I was fiddling a little bit. Let's just call this uncertainty, because I'm trying to actually use the trajectories even to see how would my approach end up. And it wasn't really helpful, to be honest. So, I'm just trying to fix my intercept a little bit, and I will come a little bit closer when it comes to entering the atmosphere. Ooh, this is interesting. Yeah, hilarity may ensue. Anyway, let's put our periapsis to, let's say, I don't know, 14-ish. Come on. 33 is a little bit high. Maybe we can actually live with it. But I'm thinking more around 15, 16 I should put the periapsis, because I think that one would be the best. And I have no idea what body fix mode means. If somebody knows, please guys put it in the comments below, will you? Okay, my trajectories is giving me exactly nothing. Maybe the approach just isn't good enough. You know, tell you what, let's do it the old-fashioned way. Burn for periapsis of, what should we say, maybe, yeah, 15-ish. It says 11. In the Aerobrake calculator it says 11 to 100, but I think I'm gonna stick around 17-ish. So, with trajectories I was trying to fiddle a little bit to understand a little bit more how it works and what it does, but I think it has been a mistake on my part, so yeah, I will just happily ignore what it says and just be none the wiser. Okay. Once again trying to see how much delta V it would take, and then it also is just setting up another maneuver node after maneuver node for me. I have no idea why. You can see them over there. So kill the maneuver, thank you very much. Okay. That being said, let's kill that one as well. Okay, our periapsis height is 33-ish, and I just wanted to basically correct that one. But we also need to defreeze 2 of our Kerbals. One is Ikrit Kerman and another one is Chuck Kerman. So, let's thaw Chuck. I really like this. It felt like doing the microwave, you know. Ding! Let's do another one, shall we? Beautiful. Real microwave sounds. You cannot appreciate that enough. Okay, so we need to transfer the crew as well. So let's do the crew transfer. We will be putting Ikrit, I believe. Let's put Ikrit... Let's put it in the Rover, shall we? Okay, and then we have another one. We have Chuck Kerman. Chuck, let's put you as well in the Rover, shall we? Oh, I don't like this clipping, but yeah, sure. Here. Perfect. Okay. How much life support do we have in those? You know, on second thought, it might be better that I transfer Ikrit, who is the scientist, together with Wilhuff-Tarkin, who is on the lander, and just have Chuck, who is the engineer, to go together with the Rover, because I want one engineer in the Rover just in case the wheels break and they need fixing and stuff. So, okay, let's transfer the Ikrit. Ikrit, you will be going here. Okay, in the lander. Perfect. Okay, that being said, I think it's time for us to be lining up our approach. Okay, so let's add a maneuver, and that maneuver will be radial inwards. And because I want to be putting the periapsis, or radial a little bit outwards, but I want to be putting the periapsis of roughly, let's say 12 kilometers. And I'm gonna maybe reserve the right to later correct it to, let's say, 14, 15, 16, whatever. So let us just now remove the UI and enjoy as Duna approaches us, but first we align with the maneuver node, of course. Chuck, Ikrit and Wilhuff-Tarkin are the first Kerbals to have actually arrived from the flotilla to the Kerbal sphere of influence. Oh, sorry, Duna sphere of influence. Okay, just double checking my staging, because once I actually start executing this, shit will start to fly. So, okay, and taking it back to the UI so we can enjoy Duna coming into view. Pressing time acceleration ever so slowly, and Duna coming bigger and bigger. And we had one alarm from the Kerbal construction time. Let's accelerate the time again. Okay. We are for sure approaching Duna. Hi Duna. Welcome to Duna. And there's Ike as well. Okay. Time for our burn. It's a short burn, so we don't need really to worry that much about precision, but in the end, it's only thing which is important is our periapsis. And at first I said let's take 11,200 or 12,000. So yeah, burning, 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 even with the reduced thrust. Okay. Perfect. Now then, I think my periapsis is around 12,000, and for some reason I think that might be a little bit too low. I'm actually having second thoughts, guys. I'm thinking I might actually raise it a little bit further on. The downside of us having to aerobrake Mini is definitely because I don't know which side we will be landing on, because once we actually do this aerobrake, we will not be aerobraking, we will be landing, and yeah, that's a thing that I didn't think about it when I was constructing this rover, so yeah. Ultimately, what I would have done to correct this is to have enough delta V to circularize without the aerobraking and perform the orbital insertion, and then slowly but surely land in the spot where I wanted to land. But yeah, what can you do? Okay, let's keep this perspective and 600 to decelerate. I was just once again checking what would be my delta V required, to get at least elliptical, and then maybe on each pass reduce it, but there is no chance for that. So, okay. Let's then just make a tiny correction so that it gets corrected to 16, 17-ish. At least now our crew is in place, and 0.3 meters per second. Ain't I picky? Okay, and let's do a tiny burn. Okay. By the way, I had some crash here, so I had to reload. But the reasoning is the same anyway. Just go for a periapsis of 16-ish. Let's close all the solar panels. Now I want to be preparing my action groups, so I'm mapping here the chute. I'm mapping the all chutes to be firing at a specific altitudes, which I would like it to be, and then I would be putting the shield and heat shield, and I will be putting up the rest parachutes on an action group so that I can actually activate them when I need it, and landing struts obviously. Okay, and I think now for the part that some of you have been clearly waiting for, which is basically the aero capture, I guess. Let us just position the craft maneuver retrograde. Or not maneuver retrograde, orbit retrograde, sorry. But I use maneuver node to point me at the time when we would be aerobraking, what would be the correct alignment so that I'm fully retrograde then. Okay, now I can close that off and close off the reminder for the maneuver because it's not gonna happen, and let us time accelerate. Cross our fingers, guys, and hope for the best. Beautiful approach. Beautiful Duna. Please don't kill my Kerbals. Okay, let's disconnect and let us inflate the heat shield. Because after all, we will be going into the atmosphere, meaning I really want to have the heat shield deployed. And we are coming into the atmosphere any second now. And we are coming into the atmosphere. By the way, guys, this is also a little bit time accelerated so that I don't bore you to hell. I mean, actually, this is the more interesting part. The maneuver nodes, if I didn't bore you to hell with maneuver nodes, I will not bore you to hell with this either. So, yeah. Okay. Getting some re-entry heating. It's a good thing that I actually brought the heat shield, because you guys, you know, this is the first time that I'm playing with heat, so I'm completely inexperienced when it comes to designing things that should withstand enough heat and stuff. So yeah, this is pretty much the territory where, for me, everything can go wrong when it comes to it. I'm not saying that it will necessarily, but yeah, it definitely can. You know, keeping my breath. We are still decelerating towards the surface. I mean, we will for sure be landing. So yeah, 400 meters per second. Surface oriented, I mean. And now we can start to think about deploying the chutes. Let's first disconnect the heat shield. Oops. And now deploying the chute and deploying the fairings and kicking the rest of the chutes. Okay, when those deploy, then we will be separating the craft. Let's turn on the landing legs. This might not be the most elegant stuff that I've done, but yeah, it works. The other chutes are also deploying. Okay, now we have disconnected the rover, deliberately, guys. And we are falling down faster than the lander, which was the idea, so that I can actually align it. And Chuck Kerman and Chuck Kerman are in it and running. Isn't this beautiful? Stuff falling and exploding. Oh, I can see the lander going there. Okay. I'm a little bit worried that that might explode, because this one has a good surface velocity, so this one is going fine, but our lander, it's a little bit heavier, so it's coming a little bit quicker, so that's something that I need to keep my eye on. Okay, let's switch to the lander, and I want to burn a little bit sideways so that I don't land on top of my rover. Kicking the engines a little bit, just enough so that we miss it. Great. I also have to pay attention that my surface velocity is a little bit... I'm falling down a bit faster, so I will need to slow down on the engines as well. Okay, keeping the engines on. I think as long as we keep it under 10 meters per second, I should be fine. And we can see our rover landing at the same time. This is great. Beautiful view, and our rover should land right about now. Great. And we have landed as well. Safely, I may add. Amazing. Okay. So Ikrit and Wilhuff-Tarkin have landed in the rover. Let's just extend the solar panels. Solar panel 1, solar panel 2. Great. Okay, now back to Chuck. We are in the rover, so let's go to the lander. Disable the brakes, enable the wheels, and let's go. By the way, guys, we are already around 30-minute mark, so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for watching. Like if you like, hit subscribe for more KSP content that is coming soon, and we will be continuing our adventures in the next episodes. And until then, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.